Welcome to Churchdown Community Centre. This is where we're running the COVID vaccination clinics. When you arrive at the clinic, we'll meet you here at the doorway where you'll be asked to sanitise your hands and you'll be asked to wear one of the clinical masks. The volunteers will ask you if you're well and prepare you for your journey through the clinic. So they will ask you your surname, and depending on your surname, they'll take you through the process. Hello, come on in.
Oh, thank you.
Morning.
Morning.
Welcome to the COVID clinic. You all ready for your vaccination today?
Yes, I am. Thank you very much.
Super. And you're feeling well?
I'm feeling well.
Excellent. That's really good. I need to ask you to hand sanitise your hands and we can start the process. Once you've been welcomed by the volunteer and we've worked out your surname, we'll take you through the process so that you can be checked in by our friendly admin staff and our community volunteers. You'll be asked to wait here until the receptionist or the volunteer calls you forward. Once the member of staff calls you forward to the desk to be checked in, they'll ask you your name and they'll give you one of these leaflets that tell you what to expect from your vaccination. They will check you in and you'll be signposted to the next volunteer who will direct you to the vaccination stations. The next volunteer will meet you here. They'll be wearing a yellow tabard so you know who they are, and they'll welcome you in to the community centre for your vaccination. They will ask you to start taking your jacket off in preparation. This is the next stage, and welcome to the vaccination clinic. As you can see, it's really well organised, and there'll be a volunteer here directing you and supporting you all the time, ensuring that you observe social distancing and that you're comfortable and can see what to expect. And your volunteer will guide you over to the next volunteer whilst observing these guidelines on the floor. And this is the next stage, and this is where you actually will receive your vaccination. So there's a number of vaccination stations, and they will be occupied by vaccinator nurses and administrative staff who will make sure all your details are secure and that the stations are kept clean and sanitised.
Hello, my name's Chanel, I'm one of the nurses. You'll be shown to have a seat at one of our stations. I'll then ask a few questions to check that it's safe to give you the vaccine. This is Chloe, she's one of our administrators. She will input all of the data onto the computer. Once you're finished here, one of our volunteers will then show you onto the next part of the vaccination centre.
After you've had your vaccination, there'll be another member of staff or volunteer here to welcome you and to support you to go through to the waiting area. You won't be rushed. If you need support to gather your belongings, they will be there to help you, and they'll take you through this way to have a seat. You'll be asked to wait in the seated area for approximately 15 minutes so that the professional staff and the volunteers can observe your well-being and check that don't have any concerns. There's a clock here so that people know their time to go, but there will be plenty of staff here also to support you. At the COVID clinic, there's numerous members of staff and volunteers, from admin assistants, nurses, we have an on-call GP, pharmacists, social prescribers. So there's a whole host of people keeping you safe. But if at any point during this process you had an adverse reaction or became unwell, the GP will see you behind the screen here to maintain your privacy and dignity. Once you've had your vaccination, this is how you will exit the building. Your carers might be asked to wait here in the foyer so that we can maintain good hygiene and keep the numbers down in the area. They may be waiting here. If not, you'll be supported by another 2 volunteers here to exit the building this way, where the marshals will support you to get to your transport.
So I've come here today to the Churchdown Community Centre as a representative from the Butterfly Garden to just see what's going to be involved for students and people who attend our facility and others in the community who are dealing with a troubled journey. What I need to tell you is that I'm amazed at how organised all of this is, that there's nothing about this experience that will frighten you or disturb you, and if you get here nervous and you're worried, there are carers and helpers everywhere. It's amazing. These will slide very swiftly through an introduction to the site, and before you know it, you'll be in and sitting in a chair and you will be receiving your vaccination. There are people to help, there are people to answer questions, and if you're really stressed about it and you need to bring your own support, then there's an opportunity to do that. Carers can come join you. If you find the journey is really difficult, then there's an opportunity to remove to a quiet room. So there's a quiet space that is allocated that you can go and you can quietly sit at. If you've got issues of mobility, if you're in a wheelchair, or if you need a wheelchair for some reason when you're first on site, then wheelchairs are here and there's plenty of space. You'll scoot around this place in no time at all in a wheelchair without difficulty. So don't be afraid. What we're about here is trying to create a situation where you are going to be smoothly delivered to receive this important vaccine. I urge you to come. I urge you to take part and not be frightened. There are people here who want to look after you. Enjoy the experience. So I've come through now into the quiet room, and it's very quiet. The only noise is me, and it's let out and spaced generously, so there's room in here to manoeuvre and room to be at ease, and it's what it promises. It's a quiet space, and there'll still be access to support if you need it. Yeah, lovely space.